I hear people on the internet all the time say the recordings and mixes, they sound bad because my audio interface isn't good enough. Give me a freaking break, all right? You know what I'm holding in my hand here? This is a Focusrite Scarlett Solo. I used this for 6 years when recording in my home studio, and my recordings got significantly better and pro sounding in that time, in my opinion, over those 6 years. And guess what? I never swapped out my interface. Your interface has nothing to do with the quality of your recordings or the quality of your mixes. I'm going to explain why in this video. Think of me as like your audio older brother, okay? Someone who's going to come along and really tell you the truth about these things when it comes to recordings. Because I want you to make better recordings. I want you to have better songs. I want you to have fun when doing it. I don't want you to dread it or feel like, man, I can't accomplish this. I want you to feel emboldened to create the music and art that you should make and to really improve your life through that, being able to express yourself. It's an absolutely amazing gift. It's really easy to get caught in these traps where I need X amount of gear, I need to spend X amount of money, I need this thing. Until I have this thing, I can't have good sounding recordings and mixes, or I can't have, a good sounding guitar tone or whatever. And that is a bunch of freaking BS. It's all about knowledge. It's all about how you use your tools, not necessarily the tools themselves. Now, 10, 15 years ago, totally true. The technology was not there in every regard. There definitely were audio interfaces that were way better than others, mics that were way better than others, okay? That totally existed, or amp sims that were miles ahead of others, all right? That was totally a thing, so I get that. But now in 2023, and I started back in 2015, when that was starting to go away, that whole discrepancy between gear. But in 2023, oh my gosh, that is gone. That is freaking gone. We don't even need to think about that anymore. Like I said, this is a 7. I think I might even gotten this refurbished. I don't even know if this was new. 8-year-old interface. I could plug this in today and have it sound freaking incredible. You could give someone new to recording the best gear, the $10,000 Focusrite interface, the $10,000 PreSonus with analog gear, whatever. Give them all that. Give them the best monitors. Give them the best mics. Give them the best guitar amps. And I could create something better than him in Bias FX2 with my guitar going through my Focusrite 2i2 or my Focusrite Solo every time. So that shows you that the discrepancy between you making great recordings and mixes, great guitar tones, whatever, has nothing to do with your gear, right? It has to do with how you use the gear and how you use your ingenuity and your ability and your talent to create something that sounds absolutely amazing, right? The parts and materials, the converters that you have in a Focusrite 2i2 is better than anything that existed in the early 2000s, or I would argue anything that existed 15 years ago. Really, you just need to know how to get the inputs correct, what to put where, and that's it. You need to learn those valuable skills, but pretending that upgrading your interface is going to somehow give you this new edge, this new capability to out-record someone else or improve your recordings and mixes, it's completely ridiculous. You really need to know what your needs are in the home studio. If you're going to record full drum tracks for your band, okay, yes, you need a more expensive interface because you need more inputs, right? But if you're just a guitar player at home, you just record your own music, okay, all you need is Focusrite Solo, and it's $150. That's it. You don't have to spend $1,000. Okay, you don't have to do that at all, right? You just need a nice sounding cable, a good sounding guitar with fresh strings, and a little knowledge of your amp sim, and you could get great sounding guitar recordings. I hear the same thing about monitors all the time. It drives me freaking nuts. I need to do a video on monitors as well. I've had the same PreSonus Aries, what is this, 2s? It's not even the Bluetooth versions. I've had them for 7 years. But you want to know why I'm able to make great mixes and recordings in my home studio with these monitors? It's because I know them well, okay? Familiarity with your gear is so much more important than the gear itself. I know exactly how to use this $90 mic. That's right, this mic, this V67, the MXL V67, it's a $90 microphone, but I know exactly how to use it. I know its strengths, I know its weaknesses. Same thing with the Focusrite interface, same thing with my monitors. I tune them to my room. I've learned them. I know what spots when I go to my car or when I go to my earbuds are weak, and I know what are strong. I know exactly how to tailor the sound to get the result that I need. That's what you really need to learn in the home studio, guys. And the one thing you cannot do to learn these things is take a shortcut and not put in the time. You have to put in the time and you have to put in the work to get familiar with this gear, to get familiar with the process and get familiar with your process for recording, creating, and mixing to finally make a good recording. That's not something you can just bypass. Yes, if you go to someone else's studio, maybe you can bypass that approach because they have the knowledge and they have the willpower, but they had to put in the work to get there, right? So what I'm saying is put in your time learning your cheap interface. Buy some cheap gear, okay? I always recommend, okay? I have a home studio toolbox guide, by the way, which has all the digital things, all the free digital things that you're going to need for your home studio. You can find that in the description down below if you want to learn what you need to get started. Get some free cheap gear, or get some cheap gear, okay? This is $150. You can get a cheaper interface than this. Get a cheap microphone, okay? If you have more money, it's okay to spend. I'm not saying it's bad to want to spend money on gear, but if you're just starting out and you don't know if you're into this whole recording thing, because it can become a long journey, it can cost a lot of money if you're really dedicated to it, get some cheap gear and just learn it really well. Really try to practice. Perfect practice makes perfect. Okay, it's the same for a reason because it applies. It doesn't just not apply to your instrument or recording. Think about when you start playing guitar, singing, drums, whatever you do, okay, whatever instrument you play. Would you expect someone, okay, well, I play guitar, I should be able to pick up the violin and just learn it, right? In 1 week, I'm going to get amazing, playing amazing on the violin. Now, maybe there's a 1 out of 1,000 people who can do that, but most of you cannot do that, right? You wouldn't have that mindset for learning your instrument. You put in time, you put in work to perfect it, right? Engineering is the same thing. Mixing, recording, arranging, okay, it's the same thing. It's an art form that you need to learn and you need to practice that to become good at. So before you're online looking at buying the next big thing or the next big piece of gear, and I used to do this all the time. I'm talking to myself, guys. I was an older brother to myself back in the day when I was looking at, I need to buy the more expensive microphone. I need a more expensive interface. Maybe it's my monitors. Maybe it's my headphones. Maybe it's this. Maybe I don't have expensive enough plugins. I used to think it was all these things. Nope. I just hadn't put enough work into making good records, to learning arrangement, to learning sound design. And that's what I need to do to finally get good recordings. Luckily, that's what my channel is for. My channel is all about learning great sound design, using your gear appropriately, learning how to mix all different styles and genres, okay? I've got so many videos on my channel on how to do that. I want to teach you. I want to help you do all those things. That's exactly what Make the Music is about. So thank you for watching this video. You should like and subscribe to the channel down below. If you want to see more videos on tips regarding gear and philosophy of recording, you should leave a comment down below. Let me know what you'd like to hear. And anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Get back to recording some music.